What's up, everybody? How's it going? Yo, yo, yo. This is Marcos Villegas, Fight Up TV, a live chat for the week of October 26th. I never know exactly when this thing goes on, when this thing's all finished, like recording and all that. So I never know like when to start. This thing gives you a countdown, and then like sometimes it chops you off, sometimes it doesn't. But my bad for not giving you guys a heads up like I usually do the day before about this live chat. Been super, super busy with getting stuff together, getting a few things wrapped up and finished, so I have time to do like other things today. The reason why I've been super busy is because I'm going to San Antonio to cover this Tank versus Leo fight. So this will be the first fight I cover live and in person since, shoot, man, I can't even remember the last fight I covered in person. I think since the Wilder fight, Wilder Fury, I think, because I know before the coronavirus happened, I was scheduled to work a fight with Fox in Washington, D.C. And I remember we landed there, and literally the next day they told us we have to go back home to L.A. because this coronavirus is going all crazy. So yeah, it's the first fight I'm going to cover since February. Wow. It's been a long time, man. What's up? What up, Chicago, Chi-Town, man? I love Chicago. I love that city, man. I had some time I spent over there. I want to say last. Actually, I think I was there for the Usyk fight. The Usyk fight week. I forget where it was. The Usyk's last fight when he had it at heavyweight. But I spent a few days there in Chicago. Love Chicago, man. Just if it wasn't so damn cold over there, man. I don't know how you deal with the cold, bro. I have no idea. The cold and the wind, dude. Like Chicago in the summer, legit. Chicago in the spring, legit. Chicago in the fall and winter, nah. I'm good, man. I'm good. Bomb ass pizza though. Bomb ass food, man. Yeah, it's snow today. Yeah, I can't. Well, so right now in Southern California, because I live in Southern California, there's a crazy fire going on right now. Like maybe like 10, 15 miles south of where I'm at. So like I woke up this morning and it was all gloomy, okay? And this fire is pretty close to where I live. Usually the fires over here in Southern California happen like in the valley or like in the hills. But this one's a little bit closer. And if you guys are just joining in, we are going to talk about the Leo Santa Cruz fight. I'm going to be there live covering the fight for the channel in San Antonio. I'll get into that later. But yeah, man. So I want to say like around 11 noon, you could totally like smell the smoke. It smells like freaking smoke inside of my apartment. I just washed my car. It's all filled with ash. It's pretty freaking heavy. It's pretty bad. I don't think as bad yet as the fires that were in the LA area a few weeks ago, because that was like it was like you were driving like in fog, like over there. Because I have a special person that I spend a lot of time with who's a female. You know, I was at her place, and I remember that in the morning, you know, I walked out and it was like foggy, and I was like, "What the hell? This smoke from the fire?" She's like, "Yeah, it's really really heavy over here." So far so good over here, but man, yeah, the smoke's it gives you headaches, man. So that's what's going on over here, but. Yo, what up, Jesus? What up, Daniel? What up, Money Mate? What up, Rick? NJNP? What's up? Nah, it doesn't smell like chicharron, dude. It smells like freaking ash. It's terrible, dude. It'll get you dizzy. But yeah, so I don't even know how I got into the tangent. I think we're talking about Chicago. But yeah, going to travel to this fight. I leave tomorrow. The fight's on Saturday. Showtime pay-per-view. Yeah, Dick. I guess I'm getting out of the fire, but you know, maybe good time, maybe not. You know, I'm a little. Thank you, CO's Tony. I appreciate that, man. So I have some reservations about covering this fight, and you know, I'm anxious, but the reservation for me is that the COVID rates in San Antonio are kind of skyrocketing up. You know, I don't know how well Texas is with what they're doing to keep this in check. I know in LA, And in Southern California, they're a little bit better, even though I live in Orange County, and they're, the rates are really, really low here. A lot of stuff is open. So the promoters have everything arranged for us. We have to check into the hotel. We're in a bubble. We have to get tested. We can't go anywhere until we're tested and the test comes back clean. After that, I suppose, from what I know from the other bubbles, we're stuck in our rooms. We could only roam the floor that's designated the bubble. We're escorted to where they're having the events. I have no idea how the fight night is going to play or how it's going to go. So yeah, I'm going to document all this for you guys and probably put together like a vlog of me going over there just to see how it is, like I did for the first show that we did with PBC on Fox when we came back earlier in the year, I believe August. We're in the third wave, NJNP. What the hell does that mean, the third wave? Okay, that's not very reassuring for me. I'm not worried about going there. I'm more worried about when I get back, because it's Halloween. A lot of people are going to be partying, and a lot of people are going to be flying out of San Antonio that Sunday. So that's where I'm kind of like a little concerned, though. Even though when this was announced, this whole COVID thing, my first initial reaction was, we all have to get it. We all have to get it in order to get some sort of a resistance to it, So I just, I don't know. I suppose that they'll, maybe a good majority of people won't get it, and there'll be some sort of treatment or vaccine that comes out that will avoid that. Even though, I don't know, I might have had it, to be honest, back in February. I was really, really sick back in February. I had all the symptoms, but I also had congestion in my nose, which I know that's not a common symptom, but I felt shortness of breath. This was, I went to Biloxi in Mississippi, and then I was sick for like 2.5 weeks, which I thought was really, really weird, because usually when I get a cold or a flu, I'm only sick for a week. But this was early on. They didn't know what happened. What's up, Arm? What up, bro? No, 5:35, 5:45 is usually around the time. My job tweaked the temp reader, everybody 94.3. That's not a good thing if they're doing that. So yeah, man, I'm gonna have to get my mask, flying. We'll see how it all goes, but I'm not worried about the promotion or being there. Like, I've seen the protocols that the promoters have in place, Showtime and all that. They're legit, and I've seen the protocols that Fox has put in place, and they're legit. They're on top of their ish. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the people in San Antonio after I'm out of the bubble. That's what I'm worried about, especially that flight back. But we'll see how it goes, man. I'm interested in. I'm interested to see how 10,000 fans this weekend at the Alamo Dome Saturday. That's going to be interesting. Supposedly everybody has to wear masks and everyone's going to get a temperature check. But that's going to be an interesting thing to see. It's going to be the first fight that's going to have a crowd since everything closed down in the United States for COVID. So Box Talk, what's up, man? Yeah, I am going. I'm going. There's only 3 media people that are going to cover the fight for internet. I know there's a few writers that are going as well. But for digital, there's only 3 of us going. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna vlog it. I'll put something together. Hopefully it'll be up next Monday, if I'm not too tired from working. But let's break down this. Well, first off, the Habib fight. I just wanted to touch on it really, really quick. The moment he did his post fight, by the way he was talking, I already knew that he was going to retire. Like, you could just tell in his voice. And us as fight fans, we've seen a lot of fighters speak in that same tone. And you kind of know what's coming when they speak in that tone. So what's up, Chain? It foreshadowed. As soon as he started speaking like that, I knew, like, oh, dude, this guy's going to retire. And then he went ahead and did. Retiring with a record of 29-0 is freaking crazy. Okay, it's unheard of. Fedor didn't even get to O status. Fedor was like 20-something and 0 with 1 no contest. And he went 7-8 years undefeated. Anderson Silva, though not undefeated, had a streak that he was untouched until he got rocked by Chris Weidman. So I know, and I'm just going to touch on this briefly. GOAT, greatest of all time, is thrown around so much in MMA, and I think it's so stupid that it's thrown around because, one, it's such a young sport that you don't have enough perspective to be able to properly categorize who's who yet because it's such a new sport, and it gets thrown around for every new, every person. Chris Cyborg gets beat. The girl that beat her is now the new GOAT, even though she has a legit argument in her case. But with everybody else, someone beats John Jones, they're going to crown him the GOAT, and that's not how it goes. Everybody gets beat at some point, obviously. You look at Sugar Ray Robinson. He has a defeat, but he's known as that because of how dominant he was, the opposition, the wins that he had, the streak that he had. All that stuff gets taken into account, and really, it's the length of domination of that fighter. But Habib has, I think, with time, he's going to have a legit argument because it's almost impossible to get that type of record in mixed martial arts because how unpredictable that sport is, and because it's so unpredictable, there's so many ways to lose in that sport. So you really, really got to be something special in order to get to a record like that. He went 13-0, I think, in the UFC, and then overall it was 29-0. I think, it's going to be really between him and John Jones at this point. I think, 10, 15 years from now, because no one's dominated like John Jones, to be honest. No one's dominated. And even more if he goes to heavyweight now, which he is, and he goes and he clears out that division and takes people out. I think, at least to me, he'd have more. It's just the body of work is deeper there because he's able to do it in two divisions, instead of Habib just doing it in one. But props to Habib. He had a broken foot, broken toe, a hell of a performance. I saw the fight, and he certainly is going to be in the top 5 for sure for MMA because it's so hard to get in that position. For me, at this point, it's going to be Fedor for me always, just because he was so dominant for so long. But John Jones is creeping up there. I think he's going to get more credence if he's able to go into heavyweight and take everybody out. He's just naturally, that guy's just a freak of nature. Not a freak of nature. Freakishly, naturally gifted for that sport because obviously we see people his size, his length in football and in basketball, but in MMA it's not like that yet because it's still such a new and young sport. So you're mentioning Jose Aldo. Yeah, he dominated the lighter weight divisions, especially in the WEC when he was wrecking fools. That's when I first became a fan of Jose Aldo. I always say Jose Aldo. I hate it when they say Jose, but I know that's how you're supposed to pronounce his name. But I hate it when they say Jose Aldo. What's up, bro? There's a theory floating around about Habib refusing to be controlled in his country, his father's death, and retiring. Rick, elaborate on that, Rick. I'm not sure about that. Box talk. Habib was so dominant throughout. Rarely did he ever have close fights. Not any one that I saw, anyways. Exactly. But how long was he dominant for in the UFC compared to John Jones, who's still dominant? It's really, you got to look at how long they're dominant for. And I learned that actually. It's funny, you guys are gonna laugh. From Floyd. Floyd would always say that, judge a person not how many wins they have, how many this is how long have they been dominating in their sport. That's really by what you got to take a look at. How long have they been a dominant force in their sport? And certainly John Jones has been practically the most dominant fighter in MMA other than Fedor. Anderson had his time. He was almost there, but it wasn't even close to a Fedor, to be honest. So we'll see what it is. Javier is saying John Jones lost to the Mexican guy from California, dominant my arse. A lot of people think he lost to Gustafsson the first time. I thought he lost to Gustafsson the first time, but hey, on the record book, a win's a win. A win's a win. People say that all the time about Floyd. oh, dude, Floyd lost to Jose Castillo. What the hell, he's not really undefeated. Still got the win. He convinced 3 people that he won. Those are the 3 most important people that you got to convince as a fighter. So the length of time does not necessarily determine who's the best. It's a big thing, though, man. Because, okay, say you're dominant for 2 years compared to a guy who's dominant for 10 years, who's fighting consistently the top guys, world champions, title defenses. It's a big deal, dude. I think it's one of the biggest deals, because you could be a flash in the pan. Look how many flash in the pan guys that we've seen just overall in fight sports in general. That's really what sets the elite from special apart, is length of dominance. Even with athletes, man. Look at Tom Brady. Look how long that guy's been dominant for. Look at all the basketball players, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. Look how long they've been at the elite top level for how long, as opposed to other like flash in the pan people. I think the length of dominance at the highest level really accounts for a lot. And when you look at it like that, Habib didn't have as much time in the UFC as a John Jones, which, I think over time people are going to take a look at that and be like, hey, John Jones should be put ahead of him, unless, John Jones goes to heavyweight and completely gets his butt kicked because he's undersized. But I really, really doubt that with that. Yeah, we're talking about Habib just randomly and all that. So, John, sorry about that. Already answered that question. Mumzi, we were talking about John Jones and how I'm covering this Leo versus Tank fight that we're going to get into right now. James is agreeing with me. He's up there for sure. I think if he continues, his dominance probably will end up being. But like I mentioned, dude, the GOAT term is thrown around so much in MMA. And like, I don't understand how like the media on that end and the writers don't understand that you need perspective. You need time in order to grant someone that title. Like when boxing, say like we're back in like the 1880s, okay? Because MMA is a relatively new sport. It's only been around for like 20 years, 25 years. So imagine like at 1910 already crowning like the GOAT in your sport. No, come on, man. People are still evolving. People are still getting better. The athletes are getting bigger, faster, stronger. Like, come on, man. You can't do that yet. You got to give that fighter, first they got to retire, okay? And then you got to have perspective with over the years to see how their accomplishments stack up with the elite in that time, and then you have a better perspective, a better view of where to rank what they've done compared to the people now. And people don't do that. Yeah, exactly. James Sullivan, the GOAT. Imagine that. Gene Tunney, even though Gene Tunney's an all-time great, but you know what I'm talking about. If they just start naming people like right off the bat, and it's like, look what we've gone to from John L. Sullivan up until now, I think they're very they do that too hastily in that sport. For sure. Okay, I'm gonna take a little sip of this. One of my favorite cups in the world, guys. I got this from Hawaii. Love it. Yo, yeah, I want Marcos to do it though. Wait, what are you talking about? What is this? I want you to name one fighter who was a flash in the pan. Just one. Okay. Thank you. Flash in the pan fighter. Let me see. Who was a flash in the pan fighter? Let me really think. Because you can't confuse someone who is a world champion in multiple weight classes, but they underachieve as a flash in the pan type fighter because they were a world champion. So I know some of you people might say, names like a Broner or Zab Judah or Sergio Martinez, but these guys were world champions, the top of their division, some of them undisputed. So they're not really like flash of the pan type guys. Eric Silva, I think, Prince Nassim Hamed. He was a world champion though, but he didn't really last too long. Flash in the pan, that kid who moved to SAC Team Alpha Male. You're talking about no glove, no Cody Garbrandt. I think that's who you're referring to. Okay, so Gonzalo, what's up, bro? What's up, loco? Why do you think the Brits are so overhyped? I think their fans get way too passionate for no reason. Nah, what's up, Yair? No, no way. The number one heavyweight in the world, the two number one heavyweights in the world are British, so they're not overhyped at all, one bit. If anything, they've I think they've raised their level of boxing in general. Because if we look maybe about like 10 years ago, you know, who was competing at the elite level in boxing, or who was, you know, in the pound for pound list 10 years ago from the UK? No one. Some might say, no, excuse me. There's only one person, okay, one person, and that was Joe Calzaghe, who retired undefeated. But other than him, there was really nobody else. What, Carl Froch? Nah, he was good, but Carl Froch was never special, in my opinion, at least. So, I don't think they are overhyped, to be honest. They're moving up. Brandon, good point. Lennox Lewis, it's another guy who was elite at the heavyweights. So you know what it is? It's not that they're overhyped. One, they have the best fans in the world, bar none, dude. These fans, like, our fan culture in sports is garbage compared to their fan culture. Because if you ever been or seen any sort of sporting event in Europe, in England, any type of fight in Europe or England, you'll know what I'm talking about. The atmosphere for those sporting events is freaking crazy. And I'll tell you what, it has a big, or at least in my eyes, what a big thing it has. And yeah, I work with Lennox. I love Lennox. He's one of the greats. It comes from their football culture, aka soccer. Their football culture. It trickles down to all the other sports there, and especially to the fight sports, which makes it so much better. It makes the atmosphere so much, because they're invested so much, so heavily. They're passionate fans. Unlike here, we have a lot of like boxing fans here is not the same in the boxing fans in the UK. And it's not because we don't love boxing, but the way we have grown up in our culture, our sport culture, is a lot different than what people in Europe experience. We don't see fans here in the US for American football, for MLS, for basketball, the way we see fans in Europe for real football, for football. So that's a big thing as to why their atmospheres are different. Because we all love boxing here in the US. It's just we haven't. It's just a different sporting culture, just altogether a different sporting culture, and that trickles down over there. Let's see here. Agreed. They are the greatest fans in boxing. Them and Mexicans come in a close second. Bar none, though. The English fans are the best. No, that's not true. Let me correct that. The number one, I think, sports fans, I think in general, to be honest, but boxing fans as well. And I know this because they were voted as top fans for I think like Euro 2018. Irish fans. Irish fans are like the most passionate fans in general for anything Ireland, anything Irish. They back like crazy. So it's like Irish fans, UK fans, and then everybody else. Box Talk, what's up, bro? Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate that. If you guys want to go ahead and take advantage of the super chat, have an answer or a question answered right away, go ahead and hit that super chat. Let's go ahead and get some likes on this, guys. Hit the like button, please. Help this out right now before we get into this Santa Cruz breakdown. Let's see you guys all hit the like button, please, for me. Box Talk 101 is the homie. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I will take your money. And yeah, I try to speak the facts, bro. I try to be as impartial as possible. And let me tell you guys, people get mad when I say things how it is. I get in trouble sometimes, to be honest, And I always have this little voice in my head that says, Marcos, like, be careful, play the game. But like, I like to think I have, integrity, and I don't want my integrity compromised. So, I just, how I've always carried myself too, is just say what it is, say how it is. So, Mumsy, what's up, man? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Always wondered how millions of people follow their favorite boxers and still can't sell any seats. Brits are loyal and spread bread. Yes, man, they're passionate. They love it. But let me, like I was saying though, they've been, I don't want to say indoctrinated, but it's a part of their culture. And just this is overall in Europe, in England, in France, in Italy, in Argentina, in Brazil. If you notice, especially from Argentina, fighters from Argentina, fighters from Brazil, you see at the UFC fights, fighters from all those countries. What's the common thing there? They have a very strong soccer culture, very strong football culture. That culture, that football culture, trickles down to other sports that they supported, and that's why they're like that. They've grown up that way, and not us, which is really weird because Americans have this stereotype, at least the American athlete, of being very, no, in general. I've heard this from people from internationally. Stereotype: Americans are very cocky, very very cocky, very arrogant, and you would think very outspoken Americans are, and you would think that we'd be a little bit more passionate at sporting events like that, but it's not the way. Whenever you ever seen a cheering supporter section at an NFL game, or especially an NBA game, you never see that really at an NBA game, not like in Europe. So when all this opens up, one, I'm traveling for sure, dude. This whole lockdown crap has made me realize that I need to travel the world more. And I've been lucky to travel the world a little bit because of boxing. And I've always be grateful to boxing because it's given me a way to make a living. It can be a love-hate sometimes because, I've had to sacrifice a lot of things to get to where I'm at, and I'm still not where I want to be at, obviously. But boxing has given me a lot of beautiful memories, a lot of beautiful friendships, and a lot of beautiful experiences that I know I'm going to take with me. And I think the greatest thing that I always tell people that work with me or work in our industry, whenever they get down, I always have to tell myself this, is that we're walking on the shoulders of giants. We're seeing history through our eyes, through extraordinary people, and to say that I was in the presence of a Manny Pacquiao, in the presence of a Floyd Mayweather, to watch those guys train, to see how they approach their camps, to spend time with people like Freddie Roach, Sergio Martinez, Miguel Cotto, guys that for us boxing fans we see as larger than life, to get to meet characters like a Teddy Atlas, to meet I'll tell you the trippiest thing. Okay, one time, I remember this was very early on when I started boxing, okay? I forget what fight I was at. I was at a New York fight, though, okay? And this was probably like 4 years into covering boxing. So I sit down at this fight, and I can't remember what fight it was. It was at the Garden, okay? So I'm sitting down, I'm getting my stuff ready. And at this point, I was still fairly new in the game, okay? I hadn't met a lot of people yet. And a lot of the people that I would see, I'd be like, oh my God, there's so-and-so. Like I'd only see this guy through like HBO segments and HBO documentaries. Like, oh my God, like what the hell? Or I only see this guy like on TV shows, or I read his articles. Like, this is nuts. So I'm getting set up and I turn around and I see this and I'm so surprised for two reasons. I turn around and I see this old white guy in a little hat with a freaking stogie in his mouth. And for some of you new fans, you won't know who I'm talking about. But for you hardcore fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I turn around and it's freaking Bert Sugar. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Bert Sugar. And that was the only time I met him ever. And I don't know how old he was at that point. But the first thing that comes to mind is, why am I seated in front of Bert Sugar? Like, this guy's a freaking like treasure, like a boxing treasure. How the hell did I get seated in front of this guy? This makes no sense whatsoever. Like, what the hell? So I told one of the PR people, I'm like, hey, I think Bert should be seated in the front, dude. And yeah, they did. They went ahead and moved him in the front. But I couldn't believe it. Like I just got like struck. So it was really really cool. The same thing when even though I never got to interview him, I did get to see Emmanuel Stewart a few times. I think I saw him at the Home Depot Center one time, and I shook his hand and just told him thank you because just thank you because at that point I was still learning about boxing, and a lot of the stuff that he would say in the corners I would pick up, and I when I got into this. I was told, it's funny. So I got into this actually doing MMA reporting first. And the person, I guess the mentors that I had told me, if you're going to be covering our sport, you need to learn our sport. And if you're going to learn our sport, that means you need to know how to fight. And they're like, do you have any of that background? I'm like, well, I used to wrestle. I'm like, okay, that's perfect. That's the base for MMA. Now we're going to teach you everything else, because there's no way you could report on our sport if you're not hands-on and know what you're talking about. That's disrespectful to us. And I'm like, okay, that sounds about fair. So when I made a transition over to boxing, the same thing. I went to my nearest boxing gym. I went inside and said, hey, I want to learn how to box. And the trainer was like, okay, hit the bag. And he taught me how to jab, and then he left me alone for a month. Which is funny because I hear from a good amount of trainers that's what like the old school trainers would do. They teach you the basic stuff and then not talk to you to see if you would stay to see if you're dedicated or not. And yeah, I stuck around and he started teaching me more boxing. Wrestled for how long? I wrestled for like 10 years. I wish my parents would have put me in wrestling earlier. I made it, pretty far to, I guess not really, to be honest. I made it to CIF. I lost to the guy that won the tournament, but I think I could have beaten him. But I that was me with only like a few years experience. I just wish I would have started wrestling when I was a young person. All right, so super tangent right there. So this weekend, let's get back to what we're talking about. But this is pretty cool though, guys, because we're just kind of randomly riffing it about whatever we see over here. Chisora has no chance whatsoever. Oh, dude, yeah, that's right. Usyk and Chisora is this weekend. Man, there's a ton of fights. Here, look, I have it on my schedule. Let me pull up my schedule here. Here are the fights this weekend. So this weekend, Halloween. Damn, man, this Corona stuff freaking sucks. You want to know why? Because I love Halloween. All right, I love Halloween because all the girls dress up in their little skimpy outfits, and I get to perv out and see them in their little outfits, man. Now I can't creep like a mofo because, one, I'm going to be working, but two, freaking Corona got everything all locked up, which sucks, man. God, this sucks. All right, back to the schedule here. Let's see here. All right. Halloween, we got Naoya Inoue against Jason Maloney, which Inoue, dude, is can't miss TV, man. This guy's a freaking bomber. The dude's a freaking monster. That's freaking throws Hadoukens for his punches, man. Freaking Hadoukens and dragon punches, man. This guy, it just sucks that they stacked this tank fight. The Chisora fight will be earlier in the day, but this tank fight and the Inoue fight, 2020 is hitting the Maloneys hard. Eesh. Yeah, could end up being a bad night for him, to be honest. But we have Inoue who, by many pound-for-pound list, is number 2, to be honest, on there. And the guy cleared out the other division that he was before, and now he's fighting in a different division. Hopefully, at one day we see him in Neri, but this fight with Maloney, I think it could be a little tough because Maloney is a lot better than his brother. He's a lot better boxer than his brother, and there could be some problems there. Hadoukens and Dragon. Yeah, dude, this guy's a huge bomber, bro. Guy's dynamite. He can't miss TV. So just record the Inoue fight because his fights are always dramatic. You know, the last fight that he had was against Nonito Donier, and it was a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. This dude's a special fighter. I'm telling you, a special fighter. He can't miss TV. So if you can't order the pay-per-view, watch that fight. You won't be disappointed because no way is you're never going to get disappointed with that guy. So that's another fight. Of course, earlier in the day, we're going to have Usyk versus Chisora. Usyk, rightfully so, is the favorite in that fight. Just a more versatile boxer, better boxer. Though, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Like we saw Povetkin and Dillian White, the heavyweight division is the one division where you could not be as good as the other guy, and you literally still do have a puncher's chance. Like they say that with all the fights, oh, he has a puncher's chance, but very rarely do we see that. Very rarely when it's the A side fighter versus the B side fighter, the A side fighter, like 90% of the time they end up winning. Okay, when we go below the other weight classes, so it's very rare. Heavyweight though is a different story because it is true. One punch can really take out the guy. We'll see what happens. Is it likely to happen in this fight with Usyk? Highly doubt it because Usyk is so technical, so good with his feet moving out. The only thing is Usyk hasn't really been chin checked at heavyweight yet by a legit heavyweight. So that's going to be interesting to see how he takes the power of a legit heavyweight who's a world level heavyweight at this time. The other thing too is Usyk's a master troller, dude. That guy's hilarious. Hello, Derek. Hi, Derek. I coming. Hello, Derek. All that stuff to the buildup of the fight was great. So it should be an interesting one, but I do expect Usyk to win that fight. Just overall, what can Chisora do? Honestly, that can win him this fight. He has to be physical. He has to be physical, man. He has to really go and take it to him, rough him up, and really make Usyk hesitant. Make Usyk think, oh, crap. Okay, this is a real heavyweight now. I don't like getting hit like that. Okay, I need to stick and move. I need to keep this guy away from me. Oh, great. I can't keep this guy off of me. I'm throwing everything at him, and he keeps coming. That's his way to win. But we'll see what happens if he's able to go ahead and handle the heavyweight size, the heavyweight pressure from a legit heavyweight. This is Usyk's real first test at this weight. War is going to hit him real hard. Yeah, that's the only way. Really, I think the best way. Chisora's not going to outbox the dude. Like, come on, that's not his fight. That's really his only way. I agree. I know his power punches aren't normal for his size. He proved that against Donier. Would like to see him step up with bigger fighters. I'm telling you, Inoue versus Neri is going to be the fight. That's going to be a fight of the year, knockout of the year in that fight, to be honest. And if he fights Casemiro, that fight's going to end in knockout too. It's going to be an exciting fight, but it's only going to last like 5 rounds. I'm telling you. Let's see here. Hope Tank gets whipped along with all of Floyd's cronies, along with Haney, cherry pickers who wants to maintain their 0 losses like Floyd, who ruined boxing. Dang. Eugene, you don't really like Floyd, huh? Cherry pickers will have no legacy. Let me speak on this, okay? So people tend to forget about the earlier part of Floyd's career, okay? The earlier part of Floyd's career, he was so exciting, so explosive, so quick. Dude was a beast when he was moving up the weight classes in his early part of his career, when he was known as Pretty Boy Floyd, okay? He fought all the guys he needed to fight, then blasted them all out of the water except for Castillo. Had, signature wins over Corrales, over Gatti, Judah. And then when he had the De La Hoya fight, changed it up a bit with, admit, he fought everybody he was supposed to, but he was very good with when he would fight a fighter. Very good with timing. And, of course, he over-marinated the fight with Manny Pacquiao, extremely over-marinated it. But a lot of people tend to forget what got Floyd to where he was. He fought all the guys he was supposed to fight as a young boxer. Dude was a freaking beast as a young boxer. So, no, he didn't cherry pick when he was coming up in the ranks. He fought everybody he was supposed to. Fought Gennaro Hernandez earlier on in his career. So it was only to the later part where he was more selective, and rightfully so. He had spent so much time. I think anybody in a career, okay, you spend a lot of time in a career, especially when you're getting punched in the face. Okay, you get to a point where it's like you want the fights that make financial sense for you. Okay, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to dick around with freaking Joe Schmo rated number 3 in a mandatory. Those aren't the fights that get you up. Those aren't the fights that excite you. You want the big marquee type fights. It's like the position that Canelo's in right now as well. Only the big fights for Canelo, and we want to see him in the big fights as well. We don't want to see him against Anvi Yildirim. I don't want to see him against Anvi Yildirim. What is Anvi Yildirim going to do? And nothing. I want to see him with BJ Saunders. I want to see him against people who could challenge him. Callum Smith, Gennady Golovkin. No boxing. $3. Thank you. There you go. Tress. 3. Tress. So Teofimo Lopez is given a great example of doing what Floyd did early on in his career. He's fighting the guys he's supposed to. At a young age, at 23, already beaten Vasily Lomachenko. That's such a huge accomplishment for him to do that at 23. He's so far beyond everybody else, all the other young guys. He separated himself so much already at this point by what he did. Everybody else, they're a little hesitant to risk them in risky fights because they know that what a loss can mean and the marketing dollars that go away from a loss, So what's up? Thank you, No Boxing. I appreciate that. Villegas, a beast. Great channel. Cheers to you and your staff. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody, if you guys are tuning in, give us some more likes, please. Some likes. Smash the like button right now. Like. Let's get these likes up. And go ahead. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, subscribe to the channel as well, please. If you're new, we're a ton of content for you to watch. Every day we just got a pros pick, experts pick for this Leo versus Tank fight. Floyd's hardest, easiest fight was Carlos Baldemir. He fought that entire fight scared to get hit by that size. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about fighting scared. He thoroughly outclassed that guy. Come on, bro. Come on. As fans, we felt ripped off, make us wait on the big fights. Then when they are finally made, they suck. Dude, Maciel, you hit it right in the head. With this build-up to Lomachenko and Teofimo, I did an interview, and in the interview, I told them, boxing always ends up disappointing us with the fights that we're excited for. Like, very rarely does like a fight like we anticipated end up being like a great, superb fight, which sucks, But that's the same thing with like a movie that like you're anticipating for so long. And it doesn't live up to what you thought it was. Like this Borat movie, okay? Did you guys see Borat 2? If you guys saw Borat 2, I want you guys to write very nice on the comments right now. I'm going to wait to see a flood of very nice, flood of comments on the comments section right now. But I saw Borat 2, okay, last Friday. I was a little disappointed because I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than what it was. And really, it's good, not funny, very nice. It's good, but Sacha Baron Cohen is so famous now. That character Borat is so famous that it's impossible for him to do interviews as Borat now because everybody recognizes him. And really, that's what took a lot of the funniness out of that movie. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Amazon Prime. Check it out. It's still a good watch. It's still, it's a good watch, but it's not as funny as the first one. I think really the person who not stole the movie, but whose performance shined through in that movie is the Belarusian woman who plays his daughter in the movie. I think really she kind of stole the movie with her performance. I thought she did a phenomenal job in there. But he's gotten so famous as Borat that he can't trick people anymore into doing stuff like that. And you could totally tell it's him, and people can totally tell it's him, which sucks, So it's gonna be tough for him to do Borat anymore. I think even as Ali G, I loved Ali G. I think Algae was hilarious. But let's get into it. Let's get into the main event now. Tank versus Leo. Who you guys got? Let me know who you guys got. Let me read these comments here. Let's do a poll. Who's gonna win, Tank or Leo? Let's go. Let's see. While you're on here, keep pressing that like button for me. Yeah, please. Do us all a favor. Get those likes up. Dang, I'm seeing just one guy saying Tank. It's a flooded Tank, but from one guy. Let's see. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Let's read them off. Let's do a little poll. Someone thinks Tank's the GOAT. D-Bose, Tank. Abe wants to see Teo versus Tank. I get NJP, Leo by decision. MTP, Tank for sure. I don't know what the odds are, Eugene. D-Bose, again, Tank beats them all. Mick Julius, Leo. Art, Leo by exhaustion. Grim Reaper, probably Tank. Penguin, Penguin, So it's like a college joke for us. Penguin. Leo's going to shock the world, says Penguin. McJulius, Leo would knock Tank out in 3. Slim chances, bro. Slim, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to happen. Rich, Tank. Lorenzo, Carleon. Leo better bulk up. Tank is a beast. Loud Clouds? Hopefully Leo, but I think Tank. Phone Jack. Tank will send Leo's tiny head to the roof. Oh, come on, man. I'm seeing Abe Tank by UD. CB Bays, Leo's skinny ASF. I know what that means, but I can't say it because I'll get flagged for cursing. Leo will knock Tank in 3. Eugene Tank by KO. Leo Santa Cruz is the same type of fighter as Pedraza, and what happened to him? I wouldn't say same, maybe similar style, but obviously, look at how many title wins Leo's had, how many divisions he's climbed to win world championships. He's at a higher level than Pedraza. Pedraza is very, very good, and he's improving, but I think, Leo's a little bit different caliber of a fighter than him. But with that said, Leo has the odds stacked against him in this fight, to be honest. And it's, it could be a repeat of Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez in terms of, I'm not saying styles because, okay, Leo's nowhere near the same style as Vasily. Tank is nowhere near the same style as Teo, even though they're both heavy-handed fighters. NJ and P, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You know where I'm getting at with this. Good big man beats a good little man. And we could see that maybe play out again in this fight. Tank, naturally bigger guy, says his best division. What's up, Tycho? Says his best division is at 130 pounds, though. You never know what weight he's going to be at, though. He looks in good shape. He looks like he's shredded. Leo Santa Cruz, natural 118 pounder. He started his career, I believe, at 118 pounds. Obviously, you grow as a man. You start filling out. Your bones get denser. You gain muscle. You grow out. But, you look at Leo and you compare him to Tank. Tank's like compact, powerful guy, explosive dude in there. He punches above his weight class, obviously. So the key here, I think, is 2 things, really. And I think even one of them is not even going to be a problem, to be honest. A lot of people are saying that Tank's going to tire out in this fight. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to tire out in this fight. I think with the other fights, he wasn't motivated. Gamboa, it's Gamboa. And I could see why that wouldn't motivate somebody, even though, given the paychecks that Tank gets, that would motivate me. Who wouldn't be, motivated $2 million paycheck? Like, come on, bro. Need me to make weight for $2 million? I'm going to make fucking weight. Kidding me? Sure. But with Leo, he started camp earlier. You could just tell. You could just tell by the shape that he is right now, like with his abs popping out, the nutrition and all that. He looks, and even with like the workout videos that he's done in the past, he looks seriously motivated. And on top of that, he wants to be a pay-per-view star. That's a big motivation factor for him. So I don't think he's going to tire out in this fight. I think his conditioning is going to do well. Now, the other factor, really the X factor in this fight, because this is really, I think, the most crucial thing in the fight is this. Can Leo take Tank's punch? It's the most crucial thing. If Leo can't take Tank's punch, he's going to be I expect Leo to try to use his height and his reach. And I expect him to try two things. I expect him to maybe try to box him from the outside to see how that goes, and then do the Leo thing. Thing is, if Tank cracks him good with a punch, I think we're going to see Leo back off, obviously, of Tank. And we're going to see Tank as the one pressing forward and trying to put him away. If Leo can take Tank's punch and he feels good, he's worked on his defense, and these punches aren't coming through clean, I think really Leo, that's when it's going to be a hell of a fight. We're going to get a great freaking fight if Leo's able to take his punches. It's going to be an entertaining fight because Leo's going to be like, okay, I can take this dude's punches. I don't know. I'm going to be respectful of the dude's power, but I'm not going to be fighting scared, and he's really going to take it to him. And if he does it that way, this is going to be a really difficult fight for the judges to score. And I'll tell you why. Just from my experience with scoring fights. When Sean Porter fights, it's stressful. Okay, let me tell you why. And just with volume guys, it's stressful because you as a judge have to make the conscious decision whether to take into account the activity the volume puncher is putting in, and you got to ask yourself, okay, this dude's putting all this work in. How effective is he doing? Okay, because he's the one working all 3 minutes, as opposed to the other guy that, okay, he landed like 5, 6, 10 really solid power punches, and then you wonder, like, well, wait a second, those punches stood out to me more because it's kind of like they lull you with their volume, the volume guy, because you're used to seeing them throw so many punches. It kind of like your mind gets tricked in a way. Okay. And you ask yourself, well, who am I going to give this round to? Every time the power puncher landed, I'm like, oh, dang. Like you could really, it stays with you. Like, damn, this dude landed a hell of a shot, as opposed to what the volume guy is doing. I always see it as this. You can't discredit the work the other guy's been doing. Say he loses the last 30 seconds of the round. Say the power puncher wins 1 minute of a 3-minute round, but the other guy has been working consistently for overall the 3 minutes. You can't discredit that guy's work, especially if he's outlanding it. You can't discredit it. At least that's how I look at it. I don't discredit it. Some judges do. They don't. They're only looking for the damaging punches. Effective aggression, ring generalship. Effective punches, ring generalship. Defense doesn't get taken into account, especially in this fight. Ring generalship. If Leo is dictating where the fight happens, they should take that into account because he's being the ring general. He's forcing Tank to fight close quarters. He's being the ring general in there. But I think from what I've seen lately this year, and the judges have been, the scorecards have been really terrible, at least in my opinion, this year. Judges favor the guy really who's landing the power punches. They don't, unless you're landing a jab that makes their head snap back, that makes it look like it's a power jab. They don't give jabs much weight, which is terrible to me because the jab is like the cleanest scoring punch there is in boxing. And if you come forward and are effective coming forward, I think that's what they're mostly looking at from what I've noticed in the past 6 months. So this could be an interesting fight if Leo's able to take that punch, because then it's that, it's always the scorecards are always all over the place with freaking volume punchers, because of what I stated, it's well, who's being more effective? This guy's working all 3 minutes. This guy's landing a few power punches. Who's the more effective of the guy, and excuse it big time. So let's see what happens. But really it's if Leo can take those punches, because if he can't, it might be a short night. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what both guys are made of. Hopefully, we get a good fight this weekend. We'll see. The busier guy gets the nod. Tycho, not always the case, man. Look at Sean Porter and Errol Spence. Sean, I believe, was a busier guy. He didn't get the nod, even though it was really close. But which I was saying, though, scorecards were kind of like all over the place with fans. And that's always the predicament when it's a volume guy against a guy who's a little bit more efficient with his punches as well. Tank pot shots. We all know this. He's very precise with his punches. So don't be surprised if Leo can take his punches and we're going into the 10th and the fight's really close. And the fight, you're seeing scorecards all over the place on Twitter. And you're just kind of like, well, Tank's landing the better punches, but Leo's outworking him, And it's like, oh, what are the judges going to prefer at that point? The guy that's outworking him or the guy that's landing the bigger power punches, Usyk or Chisora, we're going to talk about that. All right, we already talked about it, bro. We talked about it 20 minutes ago. I touched on it for like 5-6 minutes. Sorry about that, man. It's just rewind. We could, I guess you can go. Usyk's going to win. Usyk's going to win. Like I said, only chance really Chisora is Chisora to rough him up. And because Usyk hasn't really been tested by a real heavyweight, hasn't felt a real heavyweight punch, it'll be interesting there. But, for the most part, Usyk should win. Teixeira versus Castellano on the Ryan versus Campbell undercard. Dang. Okay, that's good. Castellano's not a joke, dude. Castellano's really good, man. Really, really good. That's actually a really good fight. Don't be surprised Castano upsets Teixeira, to be honest, because he had a really close decision with Irizlani Lara, and Irizlani Lara actually looked really, really good in his last fight too as well. So you know what? That might be a sleeper fight, to be honest. LC Internet Explorer 10. That's a very interesting name, man. Dude, do you guys remember Internet Explorer? Old school Internet Explorer? That's nuts, man. That's exactly how the fight is going to go. On the money, Marco. Thank you, bro. Dang, you guys remember Netscape Navigator? I don't know. I might be a lot older than some of you guys. But dang, Internet Explorer, man. Who uses Internet Explorer now? That's so random. I assumed everybody uses Chrome. I don't even know if anybody even uses Safari, to be honest. Yeah, AOL. Yeah, freaking Netscape Navigator. What was the other one? Ask Jeeves and Web Crawler. Those were like the three freaking internet browsers when the internet first freaking came into existence, when Al Gore created the internet. Al Gore created the internet's VHS boxing fights. Yeah, those were the days, man. Those were the days when YouTube just came out. Hit me up on AIM. Remember talking to all the chicks or people we thought who were chicks? People we thought were chicks, and they're actually freaking like old ladies or something like that. And they'd always put ASL, age, sex, location. Dude, AIM was freaking wild back then, man. There's like no freaking rules. It was the Wild West, dude. You can get away with a lot of stuff. Yeah, there you go in JP. Man, yeah, exactly. Best browser now is Brave browser. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. There's a browser called Quant, which is good because they don't track you. You're not going to get ads on your freaking Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat or any of the other social apps that you use if you use that, because they don't track you. But yeah, man, that's wild, huh? That's us 80 kids. Secure VPN. Yep, that's true. I like. I said, I like. DuckDuckGo. I never heard of that either, but yeah, man, that's recapping really this weekend of action. So I will be there in San Antonio live. If you guys live in Texas, probably not going to be able to say hi to you because I think we're going to be like sequestered away from everybody else when we're covering the fight there, which is a bummer. But it'll be interesting. I'll be in my first bubble, and then I'll be working the fights next weekend for Fox. Next weekend on Fox, November 7th, we're gonna have here. Let me pull up the schedule. Luis Ortiz is fighting Alexander Flores. I know Alexander Flores. He actually used to work out at the gym that I learned how to box. And then next week as well, Devin Haney is gonna fight Yuriorkis Gamboa as well. We did interview Devin Haney over the weekend here. And JAP, thank you so much. I appreciate that, bro. You're like a OG man for the channel, dude. You're always here on every chat. I really appreciate that. You know what, NJ and P, message me on the Fight Hub account. I'm gonna send you something for your support. All right, thank you. I really appreciate that, NJAP. Appreciate that, bro. We did an interview with Devin Haney over the weekend where he talks about the Gamboa fight. And I asked him, hey, bro, how can you say Teofimo's not undisputed when you never beat Lomachenko? And he beat Lomachenko, and Lomachenko was the #1 guy at lightweight. That makes him undisputed, right? And he gave me, a good response. He gave me his side. Also asked him about this Tank Leo fight, which is in our pros picks as well. Here, I'm going to drop the link right now for the Devin Haney fight. There's that. And here is the link. That's the headline. And here's the link that I'm going to give to you guys right now. Boom. There you go. We also released our pros picks for this fight as well. Make sure to check it out. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link right now, too, for you guys. Let's see. Here we go. Shareable link. Boom. That's our pros picks. Shoot, man, we got a lot of people on those pros picks that we released. Got Abel Sanchez, Joel Diaz, Devin Haney, Abner Mares, Leonard Ellerby, Jose Ramirez, Jaime Munguia, Chris Algieri. Who else? Who else am I missing? We got a ton of people there. Ton of people on that pros picks for this Tank versus Leo fight. So go ahead and check it out. All right, guys. Got a ton of stuff to do to get ready for tomorrow for my flight for Tank versus Leo. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream off right now, man. Hey, I really appreciate you guys that joined us for this breakdown. And just to let you guys know as well, mod me up, Marcos. I won't even block anyone. No, there's some people that need to be blocked, bro. So if I do mod you up, I need you to be very strict with your censorship because I don't allow bullshit here. No bullshit allowed. All right, you know this, bro. So hit me up on Instagram as well, Abe, because I do need a moderator because it's difficult to multitask all this ish and all that. So, all right, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Please help us get to 1 million subs. And also, man, dude, these live chats have grown a lot, man. I'm seeing a lot of the same people here week after week, which is freaking awesome. We're growing our little, live chat community, which is great. So please, if you're a boxing fan and if you're new here, come join us every Monday at 5:35, man. Fernando, what's up, man? My man, keep the great work. Greetings from Mexico. ¿De qué parte de México, Fernando? Thank you for the support. Gracias por el apoyo. Keep this little thing growing for everybody, okay? So share the channel, share the live chats. Tell all your other boxing homies to check out the channel as well. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button for me as well, guys. I'm going to give you guys updates. We put together, hey, what's up, Sleepy Chin? Yeah, dude, you got here super late, dog. Don't worry. Just hit rewind. Go all the way from the beginning so you can catch up on everything we talked about. I'll put together a little vlog for you guys to give you guys like an insider's look of how this all going to be handled for the fight. And it just sucks because we did the live thing last week, live scoring for Lomachenko and Haney, and we got great traffic, a ton of people on there live, and I can't do it for this fight, which sucks. I almost didn't go because of that sole reason, because I wanted to do the live scoring for this Tank Leo fight, but I also didn't want to miss out on the first fight that they were allowing people to cover. I just want to see how it is as well. So we'll do the live stuff for the other fights, the live scoring, okay, guys? But I apologize for not being able to do it with this fight. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You need one of those TR2 masks. I have an N95 mask. I'm going to wear that shit tomorrow. Interview some boxing babes. All right. I'm working on an interview with Paige Van Zandt. So hopefully that happens pretty soon. So, yeah, we'll get more boxing babes then. We'll get more boxing babes for you guys. But you guys got to watch the videos because I'm not going to do interviews that are going to get like 100 views. It's a waste of my time. So we all gotta watch the content here on Fight Hub, guys. Come on, we gotta help this grow into a bigger community because, at one point, if we can get this thing going, okay, with enough people, I want to throw like live like viewing parties at bars and shit, where we all get freaking lit, freaking give out free stuff, have drink specials and shit, and we all like kick it, watch the fights at a bar or something. I'd love to do like a meetup like that. But in order to get to that, we got to grow this. We got to grow this and keep the community growing, keep the channel growing, and keep it growing on social as well. So follow us on social, Fight Up TV on Instagram, and then if you want, give my personal one to follow as well at Hey It's Marcos V. Subscribe to the channel, press like. Thank you so much. I'm off to San Antonio tomorrow, and I will keep you guys updated. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel for fight coverage for this Leo versus Tank fight. Appreciate it, guys. Stay safe and give me good vibes, please. I don't want to get the coronavirus being over there in San Antonio, guys. So please give me good vibes, man. Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Make it productive. Stay positive. If you're feeling down, go outside. Go outside, take a walk. Go outside, run. Just get out of your house. And if you're going to a public place with a lot of people, just wear a mask. Wear a mask. All right, guys. Take it easy. Peace out. All you be safe. Much love. And take it easy. Have a good rest of your Monday night.